Welcome to Gap Talk Media. This interview is a replay from a July 2018 recording. Shout out to my brother DS1, or also known as SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Appreciate him for giving me my first interview. Check it out. Peace. Hearing me okay? Let me know if you're hearing me okay. I got a new little mic. I don't mind y'all knowing what it is. It's a snowball mic. Peace, family.
What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Peace. All right, family. We got brother DS1. I'll be hearing him introduce himself online. He got that beautiful New York swag with him. Makes it real easy for me to listen to. The brother come off like a former hip hop artist or rap artist or something up there. No offense. I really mean the New York swag is they good on the microphone. A lot of personality with the New Yorkers. What I want to do, Sheik, is I got, this being my first interview and all, I did kind of write out some stuff for you, brother. And I will begin to just allow you to speak to some of the questions that I wrote out. So if you guys are not aware, go to him now. I'm gonna put his link in the description box once this video is done. But it's SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. And I heard the brother, several of the brother's videos. He seems to be like really open-minded and all-inclusive in all of his approaches. And I just found it to be interesting that, me and him share a lot of positions, have never met day in our life, but he reminds me of one of my best friends. But if you go to his channel and what it's about, he says to help, heal, and empower my people to be the best they can be. My motto is, let's heal before we build. And that's what it is for him. He makes it short and sweet. And brother, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself. You can cite anything you want, your name, your channels, any other web presences that you want to announce. You can go right ahead. Come on in, brother.
Okay, first I want to thank you, brother, for allowing me to join your platform. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm DS1 representing SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. DS1 Ross to be exact. DS1 stands for Determined Successful Ones. That's an actual crew or organization that me and my friends, couple of my childhood friends, we started, and my friends call me Ross. Obviously, because I grew a beard, I had my beard for a long time, and I'm a big guy, so that's why they call me that. And also from other things too, but that really don't matter. But that's me. I represent SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. I named my channel SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV because I realized that our question not be to wake up everyone, because everyone is not going to be awake. So we need to allow the sheep to stay asleep. If you want to be a blind follower to people, or a blind follower to ideologies you really don't know nothing about, you really don't know the people that's involved, you a sheep. And we should allow those people to stay asleep. We shouldn't try to wake up everybody. We should try to empower the people who hear the message and is going to move accordingly. But the people who just are blind followers, let them stay asleep. So that's really you know, why I named my channel Sheep Stay Sleep TV.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely you went right into one of my questions actually as to how you where you got that title from. Um how long ago did you start your channel, and like what what made you start a YouTube channel or any of your web presences like on Twitter? I don't know if you are on Twitter or any other places. Are you? And then
Um,
how long ago did you get started, and what made you want to enter into this social media arena?
well, I'm not on Twitter. Um, I have a Facebook, but it's like for personal things. But I also have a Facebook group, um, Sheep Stay Sleep. That's the Facebook group. Um, what made me originally want to start a social media presence is because for years, um, well, I'm gonna start from the beginning. When I first started my YouTube channel, it was called DS1 Alliance. And that was me, one of my childhood friends, and an older brother who allied. We created an alliance, and we was putting out content, just doing videos of each other. Like we all had our own different different presence that we brought to the alliance. It was me and two other brothers, and we would just put videos out. Um, we also put out a like a little movie called Hidden Perceptions.
Really?
I don't know if that's still on YouTube, but it was like a movie of us, just a collaboration of us sitting down and having conversations. And I came up with the idea for us to get on YouTube because for years we would just sit down and just have these different types of conversations, you know. And I just thought about it one day, why don't we take it to the next level? You know, I'm known in my old neighborhood for, me and my friend who helped start DS1. We was always known for speaking conscious or sitting around and having these thought-provoking conversations. We always tried to talk to the younger brothers in our neighborhoods and just tried to get people to think on a different level. Not so much of trying to make them think what we think,
Mhm.
but just to be more open-minded and be um accepting to other forms of information. So we was doing this stuff for years in the streets,
Mhm.
you know, um, and our people know us for this. So I said, why don't we um take this further? Why don't we have other ears, people who don't know us? Let's see how our message will spread to people who don't know who we are. How many people would listen to us that don't know us? And for a while, because I've been on YouTube, if you look at my about since about 2016. So this is my second year in YouTube. And for like I'm gonna say for like the first 6 to 8 months, it was all of us, and then, you know, things happened, brothers fell out, and you know, it just was me. And I noticed sometimes that happens. Sometimes you could create something, and after a while brothers begin to slack off and they don't begin to take things serious, and we just parted ways. So that's why I
Yes.
changed my channel to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. because then it was just me. But of course, DS1 is still, we still exist. Everybody's still cool. It's just that everybody's not cut for the, for this type of platform. Everybody's not willing to commit themselves to it. So that's really why I came to those brothers and said, let's take our conversations abroad,
Mhm.
you know, and let's see what happens. And for a while, things was good, but you know, some brothers just can't stay the course. So I'm just, I just took the torch and I'm just doing it for them, and they still support me, they congratulate me, and everything is still cool, but now it's just me.
Right, right. Yeah, good answer to all of the questions that I had in there. I was looking at your channel earlier today. I've watched a lot of your videos, not just like in preparation, but this period that made me want to actually do the interview.
I appreciate
And
it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, bro. I think you heard me talking about your channel and your topics, and I see that you talk about a lot of things that go on within the almost like the mind, heart, and soul of people. You kind of speak into uh, the individual. It's almost like when I listen to your channel, it's almost like uh, thoughts that's going on in my head, and you're like kind of speaking to those as a lot of YouTubers, but you have a definitely, to me, a unique way of going at it. And it's interesting that you do a lot of your broadcasts, it seems like kind of late in the evening. And so I was looking at one that I'm going to mention here. You did just 2 days ago, content creators. That everybody should go and look at that content creators, not creators, creators. And he talks about the hate and that goes on in social media and really the world over. Is there any particular events in this day and time that got you to talk about that or any of the other? Like, how do you? What's your creative process? Did you, or is it just a natural flow? Just talk about that.
Well, as far as that topic, um, I was talking to another one of my brothers. He has a YouTube channel too, and me and him was chopping it up, and we was just talking about how, you know, people people use their hatred for things and for people, and they try to use that as a form of saying, or they use that as their form of content, talking about people they don't like, and just being real negative, and they try to say that that's content creating. So he came up and said, that's content creating.
Mhm.
I said, I gotta use that, bro. And he gave me the permission to use it, and that's how I got the title for it. But that's just a big thing now, especially on YouTube and our little sector. Like, we like to use negativity as a form to create content. We like to use YouTube beefs and little disparages that we have between each other, and we like to talk about that and feed that to our audience as a form of content creating. Oh, like, this is something that people need to hear, like it's really that important. And it's
Facts.
really not at the end of the day, because it's not helping nobody, and they use it as a form of entertainment, because we all know black people like to be entertained. A lot of black people love listening to gossip. They love listening to messy stuff. They people suck that up, man. And
Mhm.
it's a lot of that going on. So I just wanted to speak on that because I feel like if you're on YouTube and you specifically watch a person because they are a content creator, then you're a hater, because you only gonna watch a person that you like. You're
Mhm.
not gonna watch a person you don't like.
Right.
You're not gonna spend your time giving these people all of these watch hours if you don't like the person. So if their channel is strictly about talking about people,
Mhm.
gossiping about people, hating on people,
Mhm.
then that's what you are. And I feel like they try to use that as saying I have content on my channel. That's not content creating. That's content creating.
No, I 100% agree with you. A lot of my stance is to I try my best to allow people to be free, to be themselves, whatever that might be, whether I approve of it, whether I think it's weak or not. Um, that's kind of my position, and I've watched you do something similar. I haven't really seen you go at too many people other than maybe going at somebody that has came at you in the wrong way. But I definitely can appreciate your stance. Um, Shout out to brother Yahweh Yahusha. This brother has just started coming into the circle just the other day, but he's staying strong. Peace to Warrior Constance Speaks. I checked your page out today, sister, a little bit. I think I commented on the video or two, but I depart real quick just to shout out to the chat room, bro. Um, the Do you have, like, I see what your niche, if I asked you what your niche is, I think you've already kind of explained that. If you want, you can answer it along with this next question, which is, do you have a favorite, like, YouTuber, or do you have, what's your inspiration for, like, do you have anybody that you look to or like on YouTube that you would shout out or whatever? And I'm not looking for like a shout out on that.
Well, I like a couple of YouTubers.
Mhm.
Um, I like a couple of YouTubers. I don't really look to them for anything. I just watch them because of the quality of their content.
Mhm.
And I what I like to do is I like to listen to people who speaks to the people, and that's really what, my niche is. I want to speak to the people. I want to speak to the minds and the hearts of my people. That's why I come up with the topics I come up with. Um, because this is who I am. This is who I've always been on
Mhm.
and off YouTube. Even my friends know me for this. Like I said, I've been doing it for years, so
Right,
it's
right.
it's it's something that it's something that just comes natural to me. You know, um, so that's what I would say my niche is, and like I listen to a few
Okay.
um YouTubers, a,
Okay.
a couple. I would say at least besides the people who I'm friendly with,
Okay.
um, I would say about a good, not many, but I would say constantly I listen to about a strong, maybe three or four. Not
Okay.
too many, not too many. But the people who I'm cool with, I always come and I'll support them.
Okay. Okay. Um, can I ask whether they're male or female, or is it a mixture?
Um, mainly males because I don't see a lot of um female YouTubers that are
Uh-oh.
I saw a couple,
All right.
but they're not really around as much. And a lot of them just do videos. They really don't do live streams a lot.
Okay. That's true. That's true. Not a lot.
So a lot of them, the three or four that I do watch are men, but
Okay.
you know they have a plethora of content. So you know,
Okay. Okay. And has it this by doing the videos, like when you do them, and I guess people see them, you get your reactions. Does this any way like positively or negatively impact your life? Do you have negative feelings or any at any time do you feel like, man, I'm not gonna do YouTube anymore? Or like what kind I know me getting started just by like for the longest time, a lot of people wouldn't even watch. Like, and I remember feeling, and sometimes I get these feelings of being discouraged about being on because it's like maybe I'm not interested enough. Maybe I'm not do. You know, you try to figure out what you're not doing.
hmm
Do you go through that? And if you do, how do you? What are your thoughts and how do you deal with it?
um, I would say in the beginning, I kind of would feel like that, but I know I know what I'm saying, and I know what what my what I'm aiming at when I speak. So I look at it like if I'm giving out quality content and I'm speaking to the minds and the hearts of my people, eventually it'll catch on. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of the videos on my channel that has a certain amount of views, it took a while for it to catch on. And it's um because I don't do bullshit on my channel, pretty much. You know, and when you're a serious brother and you know you don't have the subscribers that other people have, it takes a while, you know. Like something I've been doing the last 2 years on my channel, I've been doing a Black History Month series
Yeah,
every
that's
Black History Month.
mhm.
And when I first did it, I would look at the views and be like, damn, why nobody watching this? But I noticed when I did the Black History Month series for this year, and I will go back to the videos last year, some of my Black History Month videos are some of my highest view videos.
Right, right.
So you
Interesting.
just got to stay the course because it's going to come. Your videos will catch.
Hmm. Hmm.
It'll catch. The more you do them, they're going to catch. They're going to catch because people, you know, people are going to watch it. You know, whether it's people that's in our sector, people who know us, or it may be other people, you know. And I notice I get a lot of my views from people that I never saw in my chat room, you know, those
Hmm.
and eventually it'll catch. So I never really felt like, you know, as I'm am I doing something wrong or anything. I just
Okay.
kept going. Like
Right,
I
right.
remember I remember when I first did my first couple of live streams, I was talking to myself. It was nobody watching me, like zero.
Right.
And I actually had no problem with it either because I talk to myself.
Okay. Okay.
I have conversations with myself. So it was nothing for me to just talk to the camera. But, you know, after a while, people started coming and, you
Mhm.
know, it'll catch on eventually, man. But nah, I never felt that way. And that's part of the reason, you know, how the alliance broke up
Okay.
on YouTube. It it broke up because you know those guys started seeing that oh, it's not worth me putting my time into it because
Right.
we weren't able to make money off of our content, you
Right.
know? Like, and I still haven't received a YouTube check,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
But I'm not doing it for that.
Yeah. What do you? In fact, while you're on that, the monetization of content that we put out, and I go back and forth with myself about whether I'll get to a point where I'm asking people to pay me for my time to put out the content. I got like real mixed feelings about what we should charge for and what we shouldn't. However, I do recognize that people put in a lot of time, and I do get something from the information that they take time to put out. With a platform as big as YouTube and some of the other, just Google search engines on the internet in and of itself, can I find the information anyway? Most of the time, yes. So what are your thoughts and feelings about monetizing this platform or any other platform when there's so much free content that's out there?
I'm gonna say, as far as monetizing, I don't really feel like it's really worth it. If you're if you putting out the content you're putting out, it's really not worth it, because it's gonna take a whole lot for you to make a little bit of money. Like, if on YouTube, you have to find you have to have other niches. Like, if you a gamer,
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
if you do tutorials, if you do like reaction videos, like, those are the things. If you monetize your channel and get the views for it, you will actually make us a decent amount of money.
Okay.
But the things we talk about, nah. I think what's best, and I even have this now, is you could just have a donation link.
Okay.
Streamlabs.
Okay.
You could
Y'all
go
hear
to
that, family? Go. Mm-hmm.
streamlabs.com. You could start it through your YouTube channel, and they'll give you a link, and people could click the link and they could donate to you. And if a person feel like your content is worthy of a donation, they'll donate. And I feel like that's the best way. And
Right.
the super chats and all of that is not worth it,
Okay.
because YouTube takes 30% of whatever you get. So if somebody donate $1, you only get 70 cents of the dollar.
Okay.
So it's really not worth it. I think we should deal with donations. If people like people like your channel, they like your content, they should donate to it, Put a
Yeah.
dollar in the bucket, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay. Yeah, I was watching brother O'Shea, I think it's O'Shea Duke.
Mm-hmm.
And then, man, people were like, he had an excellent show on yesterday, talking to information man was on there. This dude Anthony Broner, I think his name. I keep forgetting his name. But they were like going back and forth at it, but it was some really good stuff that people in the Black community of different ideologies need to talk about. And I mean, that brother O'Shea, he just like, people were just pouring in lots of money. I'm like, damn, I wonder if he's making enough to damn near quit his job, because he always has hundreds of viewers. So
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting to watch. And I was listening to you talk about whether it was worth it or not. And I guess if I asked him, I guess I would just maybe get a different answer. But um the I like the fact that if you have like, some people are moving to Patreon, and what Patreon represents to me is it has a place where you won't even see that person on YouTube anymore. It's essentially saying that if you want to see all my stuff, then you got to pay me, rather than what you just said, which is saying, hey, if you like my stuff, hey, give me a donation so I can continue, or it'll help me do something extra, perhaps, or help me in my life. I don't know how people look at that. So that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna continue with my questions. I'm glad that you gave me your opinion on it. Where do you see yourself going from here? Like, you've been doing this for 2 years. Do you just see yourself continuing till you get tired, or is it are you on some kind of particular mission? Are you taking your channel somewhere, or hey, is it just free flow?
I definitely want to expand into doing certain things like creating certain products and stuff like that to go with my channel. I'm just gonna expand it, like you know, and I'm working on some designs right now um for t-shirts and stuff. Start doing little giveaways, and I'm gonna expand my channel, but really it's just for it's just like for promotion, you know, to get more people to listen. And also I've been working on my non-for-profit children organization. Um and what I want to do is I want to I want people, this is just my platform is just going to be part of my resume,
Okay.
where people know that, I've had a platform for a certain amount of years speaking out on things, and you know it's just part of my resume for me to do something bigger, because once I leave YouTube, I doubt if I come back,
Okay.
so it is part of a bigger plan.
Okay. Good. I'm in a position where I don't have necessarily a plan. I don't know where the hell YouTube is going to take me. If you guys notice, my show is called Gab Talk, and Gab is literally a nickname that my family gave me since birth. They used to call me Gabby and Gabbo, and it's amazing that I just like to run my mouth sometimes, and I'm kind of just taking advantage of that. I don't know that I have necessarily the gift for Gab, but I definitely have shit to say about different topics. And it just took me to gather some strength and some boldness and some courage to get up here and start to talk. And that's a little quick story of mine. Peace and blessings to Shani Cat 73. Peace to you. Somebody said, Nicole Ali said that Angry Man uses Streamlabs as well. Are you familiar with Angry Man?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he said he uses it too. So that's something I'm gonna have to look at as well, because he got a hell of a following too, I think. You answered that. I won't ask that. How much time do you spend on social media, period, that's just looking for information? You spend, like, I guess, out of each day, do you say you spend 10% of your time on social media looking up and doing things, or just anything that you're doing online that is related to gathering information for your shows? How much time do you spend doing this stuff?
Well, it actually depends on what I have on my mind. See, before I started my channel, I actually planned it. I wrote it out. So a lot of topics that I do too actually were topics that I wrote down. And but if I want to talk about something in particular, then I would do a little research about it. But a lot of my a lot of my shows just come off the head, man. It's
Hmm.
just me just speaking on things and speaking from my mind and my heart. A lot of my streams don't be, based on a bunch of factual stuff and numbers, and I don't do too many shows like that. Only time I really do research on certain things is like when I do my Black History Month series. And a lot of other things that I speak on comes from my mind because I've read about it. I've read certain books and stuff like that. So I pretty much flow. I flow off my head. It comes from my memory. So if I want to speak on about a certain topic that I don't know about, then I would do research about it. But if a topic is coming from my heart,
Hmm.
then I don't do too much research on it. I just speak on it.
Right, right. I get it. With you saying some of that, I the books. I wondered. And I think I have an inkling of some of the things you've been exposed to in terms of knowledge of self and knowledge, maybe in general, by some of the videos that I've watched. But do you care to mention any of the affiliations or groups, organizations that inspired you to that kind of got you to think in terms of Black consciousness? It might have been just your mom or your dad. I don't know. You care to share with us where you really became inspired to teach others? Who did
Um,
that? What did that?
I'm gonna say it pretty much came from my mom and my dad. My mom, her mother's side of the family is NOI, Nation of
Mo-
Islam.
Okay, okay.
Her dad is my grandfather. He was a 5%er. So my mom's side of the family we all was part of Black consciousness. My mom, she was born into it. And then my dad, you know, he grew up, he always had a sense of Black conscious because of just the time he grew up in.
Hmm.
My great grandfather was a slave, like, so a lot of little things, we always was conscious of. And from the time I was a baby, my dad, he used to always have me with him, and we used to watch politics. He used to have me watching presidential elections and
Hmm.
things like that. And he used to tell me, my grandmother used to be like, "Why you got that boy with you watching that stuff?" And he used to tell me, because he needs to learn about this. So I guess over time, that stuff kind of shaped and molded my perception. And
Okay.
as I got older, um, I just started looking at the world different. You know, um, First it started with me looking at myself different. This is why I say we have to heal before we build, because a lot of us really don't have a strong sense of self.
Hmm.
Like, we really don't accept ourselves in terms of who you are and how you're going to relate to other people based on who you are. A lot of us walk around in character mode, in a disguise,
Hmm.
because we're afraid to show people who we are. And for a long time, I battled with that myself, because my friends always looked at me as, even though I was outside with everybody, I was on the block. I did what all the other kids did. I still was kind of seen as the smart friend. You know, I graduated high school when I was 17, you know, so they always looked at me as the smart one or like a nerd kind of, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mhm.
And for a while it I kind of struggled with that because it was like I'm not no nerd. I'm out here with y'all. You know,
Mhm.
so for a
Mhm.
while it kind of
Disturbed your peace.
a little bit, but
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
I got more into myself and I started to accept who I am, I looked at myself as the dude that can help the guys that's in the street, you know, because like I used to tell them, like
Right.
in this world that we living in, you just can't be street smart.
Mm.
You can't just be street smart in this world that we in. You have to know how to play both sides of the field. You see, you got to be a wolf in sheep's clothing out here. You got to know the lower ranks of the world and the high ranks because it's all the same at the end of the day. It's just levels. And the street is the lowest level of whatever you doing. But the dudes that's in the higher ranks look down at the street to get everything that they want. They
Right.
basically live off of us. And I just became that dude to explain that to them, you know, and I've accepted that role. I've learned to accept that this is who I am. It don't make me no different from you. And I always tell my friends that, you know, because they used to always tell me, "Oh, you went to college and you got it." And I'd be like, "What does that mean?
Mhm.
Just because I went to college, what that mean?" You know, you could learn from anything. You could teach yourself. I've taught myself more than I've ever learned in college. You know,
Mhm.
I have a strong sense of self, not because I went to school. You know, school don't teach you that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, you know, that's something that I learned to do, you know, and that goes back into the other question you asked me as far as sometimes do you feel like, you know, are you doing something wrong? Why aren't you getting a response that you want and all of that? It's
Mhm. Mhm.
because I have a strong sense of who I am. And I know when people hear me and they feel me,
Mhm.
they're going to respect it.
Yeah. Nicole Ali and Yahweh said facts, brother. Facts to what you was just saying about I think they was referring to when you was uh saying that you can learn more outside of school sometimes than what you can learn inside. In fact, some of the things that you gotta get it from the outside because it's not a part of the current day institutions. So
Exactly.
yeah, so you got some agreement in here with that. Um, we talked. Okay, you said that it was your mom and your dad. Now,
Hmm.
once you left home, I'm sure your knowledge grew from somewhere else too. Are there any other affiliations? Are you religious in any way? What's your view? A quick, and I don't want no us this to become a religious show, but what's your
Right.
quick view uh, in terms of religion, or some people say, versus spirituality? Do you care to say or mention anything with respect to those systems?
Well, I respect people's religion if you religious. I mean, I look at it like this. We're all religious because religion is just something you constantly do over and over. You you could be a avid weed smoker. So your religion may be weed smoking. I mean, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I don't but as far as institutionalized religion, Nah, I really don't. For a while, I went back and forth to church. I've been in the mosque, and I stepped away from religion for personal things, and not just because I read a book like most people do. You know, most people go and read a book and say, "Oh, religion is bad," and this and that, but they've never had personal experiences. I've stepped away from religion because of personal things, things that I've saw going on around me personally, you know, directly. You know, I've been around a thieving ass pastor personally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, actually seen it. You know, I've had bad experiences with things dealing with you know, Islam and all those types of things. So that's why I stray away from the religious side of it, but I
Mm-hmm.
do respect the principles of the books.
Okay.
That's what's important to me. The principles, like study to show thyself approved, things like that. Like I respect the principles of it,
Okay.
not so much of the worship part of it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned and excellent answers. You know, like I said, we could expound on that for a couple hours, I'm sure, at least if we wanted to. But this is not what I'm going to try to steer this show to. Um, I got one more real question for you. I think it's one. But and it's based on something you mentioned just now. Nicola Lee, she said, I think when she said facts, she was talking about your reference to afraid of being judged or not being afraid of being judged. Um, Underrated Darkness is says it's all about being an advocate for yourself. And that's why Asman, same here, Sheep. My church exodus due to observations that didn't line up. So I think many of us in this conscious community and are moving into what is commonly referred to as spirituality. I don't have any, person just to put my part of myself out there. In any of you family, you're going to hear me. You're going to learn something from me about myself in any interview, just to keep an exchange going with our guests. But I don't have any issues with anybody's religion or spiritual systems of any kind, if it's being used in such a way where we've identified a goal and you're using that to either energize yourself, you're using something of the institution that you came from to help us accomplish a goal. Uh, Other than that, if you're going to try and use some scriptures you read to thwart my aims and missions and goals, after I've given it much consideration, you're not going to be too successful with me. In fact, your God is going to have to stop me from doing what I think is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody's like really going to have to intervene. Um, my question, getting back to what I was going to ask you, was I'm reading the comments a little bit. Being versatile sets you apart. Okay. Facts, routines, and methods. All right. So books. You mentioned books earlier today. And I think this might be my final question. And that is, if you were going to name 2 or 3 books that were maybe paradigm shifts for you, could you name the 3 that you would recommend?
Um, Definitely.
Okay.
Message to the Black Man. That's number one. Message to the
Okay.
Black Man.
Okay.
Um, that was like a groundbreaking book for me. Um, I must say the ISIS papers
Mm,
and Behold a Pale Horse.
okay. Ralph Epperson. Is
Now,
that
Behold a Pale Horse is William Cooper.
William Cooper? Okay. Okay. Awesome books. I think I got all of them on the shelf over there. If I ain't mistaken. Those are awesome books. So I hope y'all wrote those down, family. Go back and rewind it if you need those. I agree with those books. Those were some real paradigm shifters for me. Some of them I had to read them over and over because I actually was in like kind of like some disbelief. Like, I can't believe that this person just said this. Like, this can't be true. Like that self-denial coming from a Christian church, was those books busted some stuff up for me. The ISIS papers was another, as you said, paradigm. It shifted the way that I seen things. S. Wiseman says she's reading Message to the Black Man, and I have all those books. Okay, so she has them too. So it seems like a lot of us come from similar peace, Sherry or Cherie. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, one of those ways. But I was saying that, what was I saying?
You was talking about how those books are
Yeah,
paradigm.
yeah, they are paradigm shifters, man. And I was saying also that it seems like a lot of us have been impacted by these books. They broke some of the chains, if you will, in my opinion. And I'm going to end this broadcast, and not necessarily in the broadcast, but I'm going to say thank you for your time. I appreciate it. If you want to add on and say more than what you've said, I want to thank you for that. I forgot. I remember where I first saw your broadcast, and I think I shared that with you. It's not important here, but if you want to add on anything of your thoughts, any question you have for me at all, I'm if I can answer it, I'll answer it. And chat room, if you have any questions that you like to put on the table, I would like you to do that as well. Feel free to also comment and whatnot to the video. I'm looking for feedback to make my interviews better. Please come back and give me something that should have been better. A microphone, the camera's not clear. Gab, you have food in your teeth. You need to pay attention. You need to comb your hair. Don't show your bald spot. Let me know. So, so yeah. So anything that you want to, any wisdom you want to drop before we continue or close out, you feel free, bro.
Well, I'm gonna just say this before I say my last words. If there's any black women in the chat room that has a son, make sure you make him read Message to the Black Man. The name of the book alone is a book that should be read.
Facts.
I actually had to read that book the first time I've read the book, I was in junior high school and I was on punishment. And at that time, me and my mom, we lived with my grandmother. And like I said, my mom's mother side of the family is all NOI. So we had those books in every house. She had them in her house. My aunt had them in her house. All my uncles had them.
Mm-hmm.
And plus we had our own mosque that we went to who sold the books. So when I first read the book, I didn't really try to understand it because I was on punishment. You on punishment, you gotta read every day. You like, oh, let me just read so the day go by. You're
Right.
not really analyzing what's being said. But as I got older and I read the book again, that that book right there is a paradigm shifter. If your son is between the ages of 12 and 17, that's the book they need to be reading. Not Harry Potter, none of that. He needs to read that. Now the
Awesome
other
message.
book, the other books I read as I got older,
Okay.
like the ISIS papers. I think I read that when I was like 20 something. That was like my sophomore year. Yeah, that was like my second year in college when I read that. I actually got that book from a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
One of my homegirls gave me that book. And great book. Definitely and it definitely coincides with the message to the black man, because it's basically talking about, you know, why black men are seen the way they're seen. And the last book, Behold a Pale Horse,
Mm-hmm.
that was a paradigm shifter for me because it made me wake up to all the propaganda that's going on in the world.
Okay.
It made me start to look at things different, the way things work in society. Because that guy who wrote the book, who was killed by the government, he worked for defense intelligence. He worked in the government. He was a high ranking official. And he knew they were gonna kill him. He wrote it actually in the beginning of the book.
Mm.
And he pretty much exposed a whole lot of things. So those definitely are my top three books. I appreciate you, brother, for taking this time to interview me. This was a great interview. I like the questions. Um, it's a very personal interview. I like that too, because I definitely like for people to get a grasp on who I am personally
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of the type of streams that I do. They're very personal, and that's really what it is, man. And another thing I want to thank you for, something that you said earlier, is you said, I noticed the videos that you have on your channel when you are coming at people, it's because they're coming at you. And it's ironic that you was able to see that, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, they don't really see that, you
Wow.
know, you know. So I definitely appreciate that, brother. But thanks again. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Um, make sure y'all continue to support my brother Gab. Um, give him some interviews, y'all. He got some great questions.
Mm-hmm.
And just continue to support the brother, man. And if you can, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Um, I will be bringing more content. I know I don't bring, sometimes I feel like I don't bring enough, but I work 5 days a week, and I just be trying to, I give it to y'all when I can, but I'm gonna definitely be more, I'm gonna give y'all some more content more often. So I appreciate all the love and support, man. And thanks again, Gab.
Oh yeah, yes, sir, bro. I appreciate you taking the time to allow me to do the interview. I definitely be going back to review myself, my questions. I've made an attempt to be on YouTube a few times. This has probably been the most successful time because I think I stayed with it a lot longer. I'm a lot older. I'm starting not to give a damn what people think anymore. So a lot of insecurity is evaporating from me, through trial and error. Um, I want to thank the people in the chat for standing by my side here. Nicole Ali, awesome, awesome, awesome. I appreciate the claps and the love. A lot of people showed a lot of love in here tonight. I appreciate y'all's continued support. I love this family that I have. I think I gained a lot of you from Information Man show, or at least I bumped into you there, or Brother Lowcast show. Shout out to both of those. Those are my brothers. And I want to mention also here that no matter what our differences may be, and I'm gonna say this in terms of Black people in general, and when I say Black people, it's because usually that's who is watching and that's who I'm usually in conversation with. That's what I am. And so it's not to undercut, or it's not to be against any other of the communities, but it's just self first. I'm here to speak to our interests primarily. I think we are the community, as Dr. Neely Fuller says, that need the most help. So I concentrate on the community that needs the most help first. And so in turn, I almost lost my thought by trying to do all these references. But when you see me on here making comments, and I'm usually talking to us, but I am a very open person. But when it comes to degrading my people, that's where I was going. Came back because I'm supposed to say it. When it comes to degrading my people, and I don't care who it is or what they've done, my heart is always open for encouragement, because I see us as a community of really, really sick people. And I'm not saying we're all sick and out of our minds about everything. I'm saying that we've undergone a lot. We've had to withstand a lot. And we've all taken different kinds of medicines to try and keep us sane in a world that really can drive folks crazy. And so that medicine that may have done a better job healing you, and you're off to a better, because you're being cured differently. Somebody else had a weaker medicine, so they have other ideals that they're still entertaining because they're still trying to be healed. So I'm patient, family, is what I'm saying. So I don't care what nobody is talking about. You're not going to get me spending a whole lot of time on my channel dogging anybody's thought processes. If I feel like in my heart they're really trying to figure out freedom, they're really trying to figure out how is it that Black people can be healed. So some of them are all about collaborating with all of the communities, and I know that many of us are not a part, don't want to be a part of that, and we spend time beating each other up about it. But I'm just not going to be a part of the beating up process. I'm gonna see if I can lend a helping hand where I can. It's ironic that my brother here, it was the first person I interviewed, because I actually feel and hear that in a lot of his broadcasts. And you guys, like he said, just go to his channel and look at some of the videos. It's really from the heart type of stuff. And I'm gonna wrap up here, and I'll read the let me see any comments that need to be that I missed. Powerful interview. Thanks, Underrated Darkness. Great discussion. Thanks, Miss G. Definitely thank Nicole Ali. Thank you, brother Yahweh. I appreciate you standing with me these last few days. And with that said, I will go ahead and wrap up, my brother. I'll be looking for each and every one of you guys broadcasts. Cherie, I'm not sure if we're friends yet, but I will be looking up your channel and subscribing tonight. So with that said, thanks, family. I'm out. Thanks, brother. Yes, sir. Peace.